Then he gave me his phone number. He was like, well, can you call me or can we FaceTime so I can see that you're not catfishing me? And that's...
In 2017, a Florida woman by the name of Takesia Johnson decided to create a profile on the popular dating website Plenty of Fish. She was searching for Mr. Right or the closest thing to it. See, Takesia was starting a new chapter in her life. She was single, beautiful, and ambitious. Both of her children were adults, and she was embarking on a new business venture. However, she was alone. She was reeling from not just a failed engagement, but also from the loss of her best friend, her mother. Opening herself up to dating seemed to be a good solution to heal her broken heart and potentially find her life partner. She was hoping to find an honest man with similar ambition. Unfortunately, she found the exact opposite. Briefly after joining POF, she began communicating with a 46-year-old guy named Brian Adams. He asked her to FaceTime him so that they could both confirm that they were not being catfished, and so she did. He was attractive, charismatic, and successful. Brian said that he was a thoracic surgeon and was dating with a purpose. He wanted a wife, someone he could take care of and spend the rest of his days with. Takesia was intrigued, but still cautious. They had only been talking for a few days before he started to inquire about her financial status. He justified these conversations by saying that he sees a future for them and wanted to make sure that his future wife is financially stable. He wanted to help her get there. Takesia right off the bat said she was broke. She had already heard of women being scammed online and was not about to be another victim. She figured if she had told him that she had no money, that he would just disappear. Instead, he kept coming full steam ahead. In fact, after a few days of them getting to know each other, he sent her over $20,000 for her mortgage and bills. Most, if not all, Takesia's doubts were erased after that. She truly believed she had found her Mr. Right. Shortly thereafter, Brian asked Takesia to deposit some money into a few of his bank accounts. She wasn't too concerned about the request because he did just give her $20,000. He also asked her to buy or finance a Rolex watch for him. He tried to convince her that this would give her credit a boost since he would actually be paying it off. Takesia was not convinced. Instead, she decided to purchase him two less expensive watches totaling $3,000 and gifted them in person to her new boo. Takesia thought things were going great until she got word from her bank that the checks Brian deposited into her accounts, they all bounced. She reached out to him about it, but all she got was excuses. He promised her he would just return the watches, but of course, he didn't. That was actually the last time she heard from Dr. Brian Adams. Upset and heartbroken, Takesia decided to Google Brian. That's when she discovered it was all a lie. Brian was not a doctor. Instead, he was a felon and a scammer. Brian had previously pled guilty to a variety of fraud-related crimes stemming back from 1996. Takesia was determined to not just get her money back, but to bring him to justice. She interviewed with local TV stations and posted PSAs on social media to spread the word. Sadly, Takesia passed away last year in October 2021. Although she was unable to witness his arrest or testify against him, her story was used to help authorities convict him of his crimes. Turns out, Dr. Brian Adams is actually a divorced con artist named Brian Wedgeworth. He grew up in Alabama where his Casanova scams began. Investigators revealed that he went by 13 aliases and scammed as many as 21 women across 8 states, including Florida, Georgia, Tennessee, and Ohio. He targeted Black women between the ages of 31 and 43, with incomes between $40,000 and over $100,000. He was able to scam these women out of nearly $1 million in money and gifts. He was indicted, then arrested last year in Tennessee for his scams and faces up to 20 years in prison. He's scheduled to be sentenced this year, August. Unfortunately, the scam that Takesia and the other women experienced is not uncommon. They call it romance scams. Oftentimes, scammers from countries like Nigeria target elderly women and men and end up convincing them to send thousands upon thousands of dollars without even meeting in person. These victims end up with a broken heart and an empty bank account. But that wasn't the case this time around. Brian didn't shield his identity. Well, he faked his identity. He tricked these ladies into thinking he was successful and single and ready to find a wife. He would deposit fake checks into their accounts and convince the women to buy him things before the checks came back as fraudulent. By the time they did, Brian was in the wind. There are some ways that you can protect yourself. When online dating or dating in general, do your research. Ask for his full name and social media. If you are getting to know each other and he's genuinely interested, he should not be hesitant to give this to you. Go slow. If you've been only chatting for a few weeks and he's already saying I love you and want to marry you, girl, just run. Stop him dead in his tracks if the convo gets to finances. No stranger is going to be that interested in whether or not you have debt, and he definitely is not going to pay your debts before being in a relationship. If he always has an excuse as to why he can't call you, FaceTime you, or meet in person, he is either not the person he is posing to be, or buddy might have a live-in girlfriend or wife. So ladies, guard your hearts, guard your wallets. If it feels too good to be true, most likely it is. As always, thank you so much for taking the time to watch my video here on Her True Crime. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And also go ahead and share this video with your family and your friends. And until next time, be safe out there.